Turner, who's got a brand new album in stores called JLT.
Yes, I did.
A new solo album. So nice to have you here today.
Thank you, Amy.
Thanks for being
Pleasure
here.
to be here.
Rainbow, Deep Purple, YNGWIE, MALMSTEEN's Rising Force. This guy sung lead vocals on those among other bands as well. Let's talk a little bit about Rainbow. Now,
Sure.
Rainbow was formed in 1975 by Richie Blackmore, formerly of Deep Purple. And I understand they went through a couple of lead vocalists before you were brought in, right?
Ronnie James Dio and Graham Bonnet, and then my turn.
And then you came in and you brought them their first top 40 hits, right?
Yeah, Richie actually wanted to get more commercial, and that's when I came in, and also videos came in right about the same time.
Hits like Stone Cold,
Street of Dreams, I Surrender,
Death Valley Driver.
Death Valley Driver.
All right, tell me about, I understand there's some rumors floating around about your actual audition with Rainbow. Set that straight.
Yeah, well, when I got the call, I was living in New York in downtown in the Village in a one-room flat with a mattress on the floor. So I was needing a job. I had just lost my record deal from RCA, and the band disbanded. So there I was trying to get a job, and I got this phone call, and I was like, "Who is this?" "That's Richie Blackmore." "Yes, it is, mate." And I'm like, "Really?" I thought it was one of my friends.
Right.
Kidding around. So anyway, I got on a train and I went out to audition. And when I got there, it really was him. So he just made a quick hello, and the next thing I know, I'm ushered into the studio, and I'm on mic. And they started playing me this song called I Surrender. So I started singing that song, and then they asked me to improvise, and asked me to write lyrics right there. So I pulled my lyrics out of what Richie called my magic bag, and next thing I know, they kept me there for 2 weeks, never went back to New York, and they bought me like jeans and sweaters and whatever else I needed. Yeah, I mean, I was hostage.
That's very cool.
And I didn't even think about the enormity of this band because I just needed a gig.
Right.
And then when I finally get out playing, there was all these people, and it was like, wow, this stuff is big. So.
You're like, I don't miss that little apartment in New York after all.
Yeah, that went out the window.
All right. Well, what do you say we see a video by Rainbow? Let's. You want to throw to this one?
Yeah.
All right, great.
Great. Coming at you from Rainbow, Death Valley Driver.
Hey guys, once again, my co-host today is Lynn Turner. I'm so happy you're here.
Thanks, Amy. It's great to be here.
You are one busy guy. Not only your solo record in stores, but you also have this other record in stores right now called HTP2.
Hughes Turner Project. Second one.
You're working with
Glenn Hughes.
Your fellow former Deep Purple.
Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, yeah.
Man, that's fantastic.
We were in the same band, but not together.
Right.
At the same time. So.
You actually joined Deep Purple in, what, 85?
No, Deep Purple, Rainbow, 81, Deep Purple, 91.
Late 80s.
90.
90,
Yeah, it was 90.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
It was towards the latter end of the old career.
And that was like Slaves and Masters, right?
Slaves and Masters was the album that we did, yeah. And we were in the studio doing a second record, and that's when the whole thing blew up.
That was Slaves and Masters. I'm trying to think. It was King of Dreams, the hit, right?
King of Dreams.
Oh man,
another
great
band
stuff.
video.
Great stuff. A lot of you people probably don't know this, but this is really funny. Way back, long time ago.
That's right.
When you were like a kid, almost.
Yeah.
You sang in a Deep Purple cover band.
Yeah, it was called Ezra, after Ezra Pound, the poet, the very heavy poet. And we would do Deep Purple covers and originals like Deep Purple. So that's kind of ironic, but to me it's like the movie Rockstar.
Totally.
Yeah, it really is, because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the local kid makes good,
right.
Rises to the top, sees through the whole thing, settles down, ends up finding himself, hopefully,
right.
and becomes the person he always wanted to be.
Do you remember the feeling you had when you first walked on stage with the real Deep Purple the first time?
Oh, absolutely. It's a dream, because, here I was in my room as a kid learning all the Deep Purple parts and singing all of them, and then to be actually doing it on stage with that band.
And doing it well.
It was pinch me time.
I bet.
Yeah, it was really pinch me.
Well, what do you say we play a Deep Purple video right now?
I'd love to. I think we have a great video here for you. And let's come at you with Deep Purple's from the Slaves and Masters album.
Yeah.
It was an album then. It wasn't a CD. It was an album. It was both, actually. It's called King of Dreams.
I'm so excited. Lynn Turner co-hosting today on VH1 Classic.
Great to be here, Amy.
Yeah, we're having some fun
Look
down
at all
here.
your records here. Look at this.
I know. We're loaded with vinyl, I'll tell you
Incredible.
what. You know, you've worked with so many people in your career, but one of the interesting ones to me is Taylor Dayne. You worked with Taylor Dayne.
Taylor Dayne, that's right.
Known for hits like Love Will Lead You Back and I'll Always Love You, stuff like that. What I'm interested in is, like, you're kind of a hard-rocking guy, and Taylor Dayne's kind of poppy. How does a guy like you wind up working with a gal like her?
There was a period that I was doing a lot of session work around New York City. Cher, Bonnie Tyler, all these people. And Rick Wake was producing Taylor Dayne. Okay, so Rick and I were doing some other Kathy Tricoli's record and things like that, and I was becoming one of his stable of singers, you know, as well as I was doing my rock tours. But this was all fun to meet all these people and to interact with them.
Sure.
So we went over, and Taylor had a session, and we did about 3 or 4 songs with her, and it was just, again, another great experience.
And you're like, beautiful young girl, yeah, I'll play.
Yeah, from Long Island.
That's great.
So Taylor was great, and you know, we had a good time on it, and it's part of my legacy, I guess you would say.
Right, well, that leads us so perfectly to a Taylor Dayne music video. You want to throw to this one?
All right, I'm going to throw this one. Taylor Dayne, I'll Always Love You.
It's beautiful. Back here on VH1 Classic with today's co-host, Lynn Turner.
And Amy. We're here with Amy, your host.
Joe's got a couple of new records in stores that you need to know about. JLT and his collaboration with Glenn Hughes, the
Hughes Turner Project, HTP.
It's easy to say HTP.
It is, really.
HTP2. That's your second.
It's the second, actually, that's our second CD.
All right, you got to check those out. Like I said, they're in stores. But aside from that, you've worked with Deep Purple, Rainbow, Yngwie Malmsteen, all sorts of people, and you've done session work with a lot of great women vocalists. Strong.
Very true. Take charge women.
Like Cher.
Like you said, Cher. Yeah, like Cher. Cher was amazing.
He goes silent. Lita Ford.
Lita Ford. Again, I also wrote songs with Lita and stuff, so yeah, she was great. See, but these women are very outgoing, very strong, you know, and I like that. I think it's maybe because of my mom. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, my mom was very matriarchal,
So you don't have any problem being a strong male, taking the back seat.
I think I got the best part of that, you know, and plus I'm wired into this whole female thing, so it's like, you know, when they asked me to do the albums, I knew exactly what they needed to, you know, to hear and to get from me and whatever.
And being in the background of beautiful women has its benefits in many ways.
I think it's not bad. It's nice work if you can get it.
There you go. Well, why don't we go to a Lita Ford video right now? We've got Back to the Cave. You ready?
Okay, ready.
Take it away.
Hey, Lita. This one's coming out for you, babe. Lita Ford, Back to the Cave.
JLT is the name of the new solo record by this guy right now. I should say solo CD, right?
Solo CD now. It's CD, yeah.
This is Lynn Turner, my co-host today.
Nice to be here, Amy.
Happy to have you.
Thank you very much.
You've worked with so many cool people in your career, among them a crazy guy named Yngwie J. Malmsteen's Rising Force.
Rising Force.
Yeah, you sang lead vocals for them. And now Yngwie is known to be, shall I say, kind of a somewhat eccentric guy.
He's eccentric. That's when you have money, you're eccentric. When you don't, you're moody.
Okay. Okay. Tell me a little bit about collaborating with Yngwie.
Well, Yngwie he's very difficult because he knows what he wants. You know, let me put it in perspective here. He is difficult, but that's because he is perfectionist, knows what he wants. Once you understand that, and if you have the same type of ability, I think we came out with one of the greatest albums ever called Odyssey.
Right.
And out of the fire comes steel. So that's the kind of the way it forms, and I really do believe in that philosophy. I mean, it's just that Yngwie and I butted heads, but at the same time, we had some creative force going on. It was incredible during that period of time.
Yngwie, real name, right?
No, it's more of a nickname that I think he adapted. I think his real name is Lars.
I love that name. It's fun to say. Yngwie Malmsteen.
Yngwie actually means Viking chief, and if anybody was, Yngwie is.
All right. Well, let's see some music video by Yngwie J. Malmsteen's
Throw this
Rising
one
Force. All right. We're going to see Heaven Tonight. guys, it's Lynn Turner, my co-host here today on VH1 Classic.
Good to be here, Amy. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. You're a fun guy. We're hanging out.
Yeah, I love it down here. It's a great basement, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It's cozy. Hey, you know what? He's here today because he's got 2 new records in stores that you totally have to know about. First is his solo record, JLT, and second is your collaboration with Glenn Hughes.
On the Hughes Turner Project.
HTP 2.
2 is out now,
Which
yeah.
really just rolls off.
Comes after 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's
All
like
right.
2.
Well, he's a great guy, too, but we're not going to talk about him right now. We're going to talk about somebody else.
Who are we going to talk about?
Mountain's Leslie West.
Oh, Leslie. I love him.
That's a great impression.
Yeah. Well, you know, Leslie's very like, hey, Joe, come on, sing on the record.
Kind of like the straight Harvey Firestein.
Oh, he's hysterical. He's a great guy, great guitar player, one of my big heroes.
Totally. He's been down here a few
Absolutely.
times, too. Now, obviously, the guys in Mountain always like you because you sang on Mystic Fire, their latest
the
release.
latest one, yeah.
And you also sang on Leslie's...
Fat as It Gets, I sang on, and
That would be
and
PH.
one before the PH, yes, PHAT. That's hip hop, isn't it, or something? Fat. That's a cool Fat as It Gets.
Right.
It's got a big cat on it.
There you go.
And one before that, and I can't remember the title at this point, but yeah.
Well, he is a crazy guy. You're a crazy guy. Times
That's
together
why we
must
get
be
along.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Tell me about your
Get along.
collaboration.
Well, Leslie will just call you up out of the blue, you know, and just say, I need you to sing on the record. And I'll be like, okay, how about Tuesday? And he'll be like, no, like now. So I'll just have to drop whatever I'm doing and go and sing because, I mean, who could turn Leslie West down?
Right.
You know what I mean? When I was growing up, see, I grew up in the same town as Leslie. His dad was a doctor there, and we went to the same high school but at different times. So when he came to play the high school, and he was like taking the heck out of the team discipline, you know, I was roadieing for Leslie. I was plugging in his amps and his guitars and everything like that.
Cool.
So it's kind of funny to be on the other side of it now.
I bet.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
bet.
cool.
Well, that's great. Why don't we see something by Mountain right now? You want to toss to this one?
Actually,
pal.
okay, we're gonna go with Mountain, man. Hard Times, rockin'.
Hey, you guys, look who's with me today as a co-host. It's Lynn Turner.
Fancy meeting you here.
Yeah, who'd have thought? Joe's got a brand new album, a new solo album in stores.
Right, JLT.
JLT.
Very
and,
easy.
You definitely need to hear this record. It is great stuff. I've got a quiz for you today.
Okay.
All right. Tell me which pop star, let's see, just recently added his Tony Award to his mantle of many Grammys and his over 35 pop hits.
35 pop hits?
Yeah.
Could it be Billy Joel?
I don't know. That's
I
pretty
wouldn't
good.
know that. I didn't know that.
You did too
You
much.
told me earlier, did you?
Well, maybe.
No, you know how you go?
Acting.
It's a Tony Award. That's how I know it.
That's right, because he won it for Moving
Yes,
Out
that's how
on
I know it.
Broadway.
Yes,
But you've
Moving
worked
Out.
with Billy Joel, right?
Absolutely. Great guy.
What you worked on?
I was on the Stormfront record.
Yeah.
You know, I knew him before that because when I was just coming up, he was in the rehearsal studio next to us, and we sat around singing Beatle tunes on the piano, which was great. And he played accordion for my mom and dad.
Really?
It was
That's cool.
hysterical. He's a great guy. And then on the Stormfront record, when Mick Jones produced it from Foreigner, they called me in to do some backgrounds, and we spent a long time together. So we had a great time doing the record.
Did you happen to sing on this next video that we're playing?
I sang on the track. I'm not on. Am I in the video? I was in a couple of videos.
Well, let's look.
Yeah,
Should
I
we
might
look?
be in that video.
See if we see Lynn Turner in I Go to Extremes. This Billy Joel. I've got to say what a pleasure it has been having this guy, Lynn Turner, co-host with me today. Thanks
Thank
again
you.
for being here.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Great. Well, before you go, I want to talk about one other great artist that I love, and I know you do too, John Waite.
John, yeah, it was great working with him.
Yeah, you guys actually have kind of a common bond because as well as his successful solo career, he also fronted bands like the Babies and Bad English,
Love the
too.
Babies, right?
Yeah, now you worked with him in '87?
Yes, on Rover's Return.
Okay,
was the
great.
name of the record,
Now he's
actually.
kind of an intense guy.
Very.
How did you find working with him? How did you
Well,
find him?
you know, I think all you have to do is crack a few jokes and loosen the whole studio up a bit, you know, and then everybody just kind of comes around. You know, it's pretty cool with that. So as I recall, we were already in the studio doing the backgrounds, and he kind of walked in and was like very stern, and then I kind of said something, and he just lighthearted, flipped off his coat, kind of sat down, and it was cool.
We'll be friends.
Oh yeah, it was great.
friends.
And we actually went to a Super Bowl party together and just had the best time talking.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Well, hopefully he's watching. Give me a say hi.
Yeah, hi, John.
All right, great. And a couple years after that, he had a huge hit.
Yeah.
That we're going to play the video for right now. You want
Right.
to toss to this one?
Okay, coming at you, John Waite, Missing You.
Like it, bro.
I always admired and emulated these guys, you know, when I was younger, and had cover bands and copy bands like them, you know, with original song, like sort of like Deep Purple, and just loved the band, you know. And when they broke up, I was really severely disappointed, and to be singing lead for them now is just more than a dream come true, really.
Well, he fits in with the band, I think, really well, because A, we worked with him before, so we know him. B, he kind of grew up listening to our kind of music, so he feels it. And what it's doing, really, is making the band perform. When he first came into the audition, we'd been very frustrated looking for a singer. It's very difficult to find a singer, because it's not really a voice you're looking for. It's a person, it's a character, it's a front. And we had some really good singers, but when Joe walked in and started singing, it just felt great.